The idea of an electromagnetic pulse isn't a plot point for a summer blockbuster anymore. By the mid-2020s, global intelligence confirmed that several nations now possess the tech to pull this off. A single high-altitude burst could essentially lobotomize the American power grid for months, maybe even years. Experts suggest that nearly 90% of the population is completely unequipped to handle the fallout, but that's why you're here at Larwa sur VOR. I'm Zach and I've been living the preparedness lifestyle since 2012. Today I'm breaking down 11 non-negotiable maneuvers that draw the line. Between surviving the collapse and becoming a statistic, these aren't guesses, they are tactical protocols. Let's dive in. First, you have to verify the threat. Blackouts happen for a dozen reasons. Before you go into full lockdown, you need to know if this is a local glitch or a national catastrophe. Step outside. Is the whole neighborhood dark? Are vehicle alarms wailing for no reason? Try to crank an older car. If yours is dead and your neighbor's is too, and they were both fine 5 minutes ago, take note, check your electronics. Is your digital watch fried? Your laptop. If every complex device you own is suddenly a paperweight, you're looking at an EMP. This distinction is vital. A normal power outage is an inconvenience where you wait for the trucks to arrive. An EMP is a life-altering event where no help is coming for a very long time. Back in 2017, a major storm took out my local power for 4 days. Some people treated it like a fun camping trip, while others were losing their minds by the second night. The difference was simply knowing what they were up against and moving fast. Take a minute to confirm, then commit. Second, race to secure water. Once the pulse hits, the clock is ticking on your plumbing. You likely have less than an hour before the faucets go dry. Most municipal water relies on electric pumps. When those die, you're just riding the last bit of gravity and pressure in the pipes. Open every tap and fill everything you own: pots, jugs, clean bins and storage containers. Fill your bathtub immediately. That's an instant 50-gallon reservoir. Don't overlook your water heater. That tank is a hidden goldmine of 30 to 50 gallons of potable water. Just remember to twist the intake valve shut so it doesn't get siphoned back out as the system loses pressure. A family of 4 needs at least 4 gallons a day just to get by. If you snag 50 gallons in that first hour, you've secured a 2-week lead while everyone else is brawling over plastic bottles at a store that can't even open its registers. Think back to the 2021 Texas freeze. Those who filled their tubs and jugs the moment the lights flickered were the ones who stayed hydrated. Don't hesitate, grab the water now. You can figure out how to filter it later. Third, manage your perishables. Your fridge is now a ticking bomb for food safety. You have a 4-hour window before it becomes a hazard. Rule number 1, keep the doors shut. Every time you peek inside, you're venting precious cold air. Treat those units like a bank vault. Next, perform a quick triage. Eat the high-risk stuff first: your steaks, deli meats, and dairy. If you can't cook it or eat it today, it's going to be gone by tomorrow. To protect your freezer, pack any empty gaps with frozen water bottles to create a thermal mass that slows the thaw. If it happens to be winter, move your frozen goods outside into the snow. I did this during a massive outage in 2019, and my food stayed solid way longer than it would have in a dead appliance. Your pantry staples are safe, but your cold storage is your most volatile asset. Here's a tip from the old school farming community. If your meat is starting to soften and you can't cook it all, bury it in salt. It's a primitive preservation method, but it buys you days of extra time. At LRYSURVIVAR, we respect the timeline. If you don't manage the clock, you're throwing away hundreds of dollars in calories. Fourth, gather your physical currency. In an instant, your credit cards and banking apps became useless. Every ATM is a concrete block. Digital wealth requires a network and a power source, and both are gone. For the foreseeable future, paper money and trade goods are the only things that talk. Scar your house for every loose bill, every emergency stash, and every hidden 20. A recent study showed most people carry less than $50 on them. That means 48 hours into a crisis, most people are broke because their money is trapped on a dead server. Stick to small bills, ones, 5s, and 10s. In a total collapse, nobody is going to give you change. For a $100 bill, they can't verify the bill, and they won't risk their own supplies. I keep a couple hundred in small denominations in a secure spot, not because I'm rich, but because I saw the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Cash was king for weeks while the digital grid was being rebuilt. Keep it quiet, keep it safe, and use it wisely. Your paper money is a temporary bridge to the barter economy. Fifth, assess your transport. Your car is likely a high-tech brick. Anything manufactured after the mid-80s is loaded with microchips and ECUs that an EMP will scramble instantly. Government tests have shown that the vast majority of modern vehicles would suffer total electronic failure. If your car was off, it might have a chance, but a surge during a restart attempt could finish it off. If it's safe, pop the hood and pull the battery cables. This isolates your car's brain from further electrical chaos. If you happen to own an old-school mechanical diesel or a pre-1980s classic with a basic ignition, you might be the only person on the road. I knew a guy with an old '74 Ford that people used to laugh at until a local grid failure turned his rust bucket into the only delivery vehicle for 3 zip codes. Knowing if you have wheels or if you're on foot changes every part of your strategy. If you're grounded, you're staying put. Sixth, build a shield for your remaining tech. Not every device is gone. Some were off or shielded by luck. Your mission is to keep them that way. You can build a DIY Faraday cage with simple household items. A metal trash can with a tight-fitting lid works wonders. Just line the inside with cardboard so your devices never touch the metal walls, which would ruin the protection. Throw in your backup radios, extra batteries, and flashlights. Another quick fix is heavy-duty foil. Wrap your tech in a layer of cloth, then encase it in 3 layers of aluminum foil, sealing the edges tight. Tests have shown this can block the vast majority of harmful frequencies. A working emergency radio is your only link to the outside world, and a simple flashlight could be your most valuable tool in a month. I keep a hand crank radio in a sealed metal box in my basement. For $35, I've ensured I won't be flying blind when the world goes dark. Seventh, secure your family's communication. Your smartphone is a paperweight. There are no texts, no social media, and no way to call for help. This is where your pre-disaster planning pays off. You need a designated rally point. For my family, the rule is simple. We converge at home. No wandering, no guessing. If the kids are at school, we know the school's lockdown plan, and we go there. You also need a secondary meeting spot if home is compromised, and ideally an out-of-state contact. Sometimes long-distance lines stay up when local ones fail. Make sure everyone knows the plan by heart. Practice it like a fire drill. The people who stay together during a blackout are the ones who planned for the silence. Eighth, tally your supplies and start rationing. You've got your water and you've saved what food you could. Now you need to do the math of survival. Count every can, every bag of rice, and every calorie. This inventory tells you if you have 2 weeks of food or 2 months. An average adult needs 2,000 calories to stay sharp, but you can stretch that if you have to. If you have 15,000 calories for 2 people, you've got about 4 days of normal eating. Drop that to 1,500 calories a day, and you've just bought yourselves an extra 24 hours. To find a solution, I learned the hard way during a week-long blizzard. We didn't inventory on day 1, and the stress of not knowing what we had left was brutal. Treat food as fuel, not a hobby, and decide now what you're going to do when a hungry neighbor knocks. You don't have to be cold-hearted, but you must be realistic about your family's needs. Ninth, harden your home when the lights stay off. People change, panic drives desperation. Your house needs to be a fortress. Lock every entry. Board up the low-hanging fruit like ground floor windows, and keep a defensive tool, even a heavy light or bear spray, within reach. Establish a watch rotation so someone is always awake and alert. Keep a low profile if you have a generator. Don't let the whole street see your lights. If you're cooking, keep the scents contained. You want to look as tired and hungry as everyone else. During the Texas freeze, we saw regular people breaking into buildings just to stay warm. Desperation erases manners. Your best bet is to stay under the radar and build alliances with neighbors you actually trust. A tight-knit block is much harder to exploit than a single house. 10th, shift into a long-term mindset. This is where most people fail. They survive the first week but collapse mentally when they realize the power isn't coming back. An EMP isn't a weekend outage, it could be a year-long reset. You need a routine to stay sane. Set specific times for waking up, working, and resting. Give everyone a job. Whether it's hauling water or cleaning, idle hands lead to anxiety. Set small, achievable goals every day to maintain morale. And don't forget your mental health. Books, games, and conversation are just as important as calories. I remember stories from the siege of Sarajevo. the people who made it through weren't just the ones with the most grain, but the ones who kept their humanity, played music, and told stories. Protect your mind as much as your pantry. I know this is a lot to process. Moving from a normal Tuesday to a grid down reality is a massive leap. Most people will freeze, but you're still watching, which means you're ready to take the lead. To help you get started without breaking the bank, I've put together a free 90-day food security guide at survivor. It's a roadmap I built based on my own early days when I was broke and overwhelmed. It includes a shopping list for a 3-month supply for just $50, plus the essential items most people forget. No catch, no credit cards. Just a resource to help you get prepared. Grab the link in the description. An EMP is a rare event, but it's a high-stakes one. The beauty of these 11 steps is that they work for everything: hurricanes, cyber attacks, or simple grid failures. Having a plan turns panic into purpose. If this walkthrough helped you, please hit the like button so the algorithm shares it with others who need to see it. Comment below with your biggest concern or the first thing you secured in your kit. Subscribe to Survivor and hit the bell. Next week, I'm showing you 5 pantry staples that last 20 years and actually taste great. Don't wait for the lights to go out. Preparation is the only way to find peace of mind. Stay sharp, stay ready, and take care of your own. See you in the next one.